I'm really interested in contrast. I'm really interested in those bits which make the other bits of the painting spark off and fire off each other. In the last 3 years, I've been working on how to change oil paint into a fabric and a material. So it's a bit more like having a few more tools to play around with. So for me, I use a series of poppy oils and different glazes when I work on the backgrounds, which take weeks to prepare. But when that's finally finished, you then can put on the figure with a lot of paint, with a lot of heavy tools. And it's the combination of the contrast which I think makes the two parts of the painting work. I use this mirror, which I always use when I'm figure painting, and I try and make every piece from life. I think if you're looking at a real human or a real object, it's easier to capture that visceral feeling of that sense of being. You can never predict at all in your head what you want, it never ends up that way. When you're throwing on the paint, there's an aspect there where the paint can do its own thing. Every mark has to be economical on the canvas. Every mark has to do something, whether that's throwing the paint from the other side of the room, cutting a piece of painting off my studio walls and then reapplying it into the painting, or using like an old palette knife. And sometimes you go in with your hands and you have to like dig bits of paint out. So it becomes really visceral in that sense. You're just lucky to get what you can and you want that piece to work. So it's a real combination. You know, it's just more strings to your bow if you can have various ways of attacking a piece. After you've made a painting, especially if they're successful to me, and you think, it always feels like an utter fluke because it's a bit like trying to control water. And because I use so much paint, so much quantities, litres of oil paint, to have it finish in a place where it has some kind of aesthetic point where it kind of does what you want it to do, is you feel very lucky. I don't think I do want them to be called portraits because I think it's misleading. They're really not about me or anyone else. They're about just capturing something which has life on its own or has a feeling of something on its own. Hopefully a human aspect, because I think that's what we all connect with.